So your eligibility for damages requires you, the form that you're going to fill out has a section in it that requires you to check one of the 4 boxes that show up on the screen right now. And it's very important that you check at least one of these boxes, but you may be checking more than one. So for example, if you owned or lived in a residence that was served by the Flint water treatment plant, or you were legally responsible for paying the water bills at that property between April 25th, 2014 and November 16th, 2020, then you would check the first box over on the left. If you owned a business that was served by the Flint water treatment plant, or you were legally responsible for paying water or utility bills for that business during the dates of April 25th, 2014 to November 16th, 2020, then you would check the second box. If you both lived in Flint and owned a business, you would then check both of these boxes. If you were exposed to water from the Flint water treatment plant for at least 21 days during any 30-day period between April 25th, 2014 and November 16th, 2020, regardless of whether you actually owned a property or lived in Flint, even if you didn't live in Flint, but you had reason to be in Flint and be exposed to that. So how to register? It should only take about 10 minutes to fill out a form for one person to register. And again, the deadline is March 29th of this year, a few weeks. If you have not already retained another attorney, we as your interim class counsel team are here to help you with the registration. So you are not alone. If you have difficulty registering or understanding the form, there are resources you can reach out to get assistance. We're hoping for all of you who have internet access that you can just go online to the website that's showing on the screen here, officialflintwatersettlement.com, and you can fill the registration form out online. If you don't have access to the internet, you can get a paper form to fill out and register that way. You should have, if you have not already received a packet of registration forms in the mail, you can go to our office at 1188 Robert T. Longwade Boulevard to pick up a packet of forms. Or you can call our office number, 866-536-0717, Monday through Friday from 10 to 4. I think we can go to the next. Thank you. In order to be able to register, you have to, on your own behalf, if you are registering on behalf of someone else, such as a minor child or legally incapacitated person, or someone who has passed since the filing of this case, it's very important that you have some proof that you can present to show that you have legal authority to act on behalf of the other person. So you'll have to have some documentation available to be able to include to show your authority to fill out a form on behalf of anyone beside yourself. Each person in your household has to fill out a separate form. So you can't fill out a form on behalf of more than one person per form. That makes sense. Okay, next, please. And again, I'm going to repeat the deadlines. March 29th of this year, 2021, is the absolute deadline for getting your form in. And I should have mentioned earlier, if you do register online, you should receive some kind of email confirmation that your registration went through. If you don't receive an email confirmation, then you should contact the Archer company to find out what is going on. And that you'll get contact information for Archer further on down in this presentation, but I'll just mention they have their telephone number is 1-800-493-1754. If you don't get your email confirmation, then you should call them to find out what's going on. If you do put your registration form as a paper copy in the mail, the deadline, it must be postmarked by March 29th, but you should start calling Archer within days of when you put your form in the mail, just to make sure they received it, because that's going to be critical to confirm that they actually received the form if you put it in the mail. If you want help from our local Flint office at Robert T. Longway Boulevard, you can fill out a paper form and bring that to the office Monday through Friday from 10 to 4, and we can scan it for you and then submit it online for you if you don't have access to the internet. And the other deadlines are, if you choose as an adult that you do not want to participate in this settlement and you want to opt out, in order to preserve your rights to proceed on your own behalf, you must file an opt-out by March 29th, 2021. And if you have objections that you want to file to any part of the settlement, you can do that by March 29th, 2021 also, but you must register by that date in order to be able to file any objections. July 12th, 2021, the federal court, Justice Levy, will be presiding over a fairness hearing. And it will be at that time that those who have timely filed objections will have an opportunity to be heard by the court. And all of the other issues that are going to be resolved ultimately one way or the other are going to be heard at this July 12th fairness hearing. August 26th is going to be the date on which all claims need to be filed. Once the fairness hearing is done, the registration is done, and then the claims will be filed, and the deadline for submitting a claim will be August 26th, 2021.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to move on to registration tips, and joining us now is Attorney Trishelle Young.
Thank you so much, Beth, and thank you, Julie. Good afternoon, everyone. Registration tips is basically, we want to make sure you understand how simple this registration process is. And every day at the office, we get questions on, I don't have all the documentation that I need. I don't have the medical records, or I don't have the lead results. And so a lot of people have not filed to register because they're waiting on documentation. But understand, if you do not register by March 29th, you will not have a claim to file. So it is imperative that you secure your registration by March 29th, and then we have until August to actually help you process your claim. So do not delay your registration waiting on any documentation. Submit what you have and secure those other documents after you have confirmed that you are registered to participate in the settlement.